Hey guys, so here's the last part of this week's assignment, and so it's going to be on water pollution. It's going to cover pages 173 through 175. I added extra pages which had questions from the end of the chapter, and so you're not responsible for doing all of those, but it's just a nice way to look at and review the stuff the content that you learned. And so the last section is going to be water pollution. So this is massive. This is huge. Worldwide, it is massive right here. We live, in the bay. We live right next to the water. And so these problems are really important for us specifically, even if you don't count what's going on around the rest of the world, which is huge in and of itself. And so the first thing we're going to talk about is this paragraph right here. Most organisms live in the water, respire aerobically. Remember that respiration is that breathing in and out. And aerobically means that they have to have oxygen. There are a few that live in some deep, dark caves that have water in them that are very full of sulfuric acid, and they don't require the oxygen. They're anaerobic. Or they do fermentation type respiration. So organisms that live in the water get their oxygen from dissolved oxygen that is absorbed into the water, right? Water's H2O. And so they increase the amount of oxygen that's in there. And so when we do deforestation, the water can't absorb the oxygen from the atmosphere. When we so anything that reduces the amount of available oxygen causes an impact on those organisms that live in the water. And one of the biggest around here, and Florida has put some laws into effect to reduce the amount of fertilizers that are used, or the types of fertilizers that are used in yards or on the golf courses, in the fields, and the farms, because one of the main chemicals in fertilizers is nitrates. When those nitrates are used in the soil, we get the rain. The runoff goes into, our drainage ditches. It goes into the rain holes in the roads and the streets for the runoff to go into, which then go out into the bay. And so we increase the amount of nitrates. The problem with increasing the amount of nitrates in our soils and in our water is that nitrates increase growth of plant and algae. Well, if you increase the growth of the plant and the algae, you decrease the sunlight that's in the water, the available sunlight. And so you then reduce the amount of available oxygen for those organisms. Untreated sewage also has the same effect. So if you're out in the water and you're relieving yourself instead of running to the bathroom up at off of the beach, you're increasing those nitrates into the water. So therefore you're increasing the toxic chemicals into the water for those organisms that live there. They grow faster, the algae and the green plants, they grow faster in the water, and before you know it, they completely they cause enough damage to kill the marine organisms. That's why we get a massive amount of red tide because it's the algae blooms that increase with the amount of nitrates and the temperature of the water. And so that algae bloom then decreases the amount of available oxygen for organisms. So we're going to go to page 174. I'm going to switch these over here. I'm not sure if you guys are actually reading these pages as I'm going through them. And I see that this page was printed up a little crooked. Sorry for that. And so up here it talks about the plants die very rapidly, the organisms die very rapidly, and what that does is that increases the amount of bacteria that is in the water, which then again decreases the amount of organisms that are surviving. And that whole process, and I talked about it briefly when we were doing the aquatic ecosystems, is eutrophication. And eutrophication is huge. And so what that does is it causes all of the organisms to die, and it literally becomes that that water area, whether it's a pond, a river, whatever, is dead, and everything dies off in it. Please understand that it's untreated, and it goes on to talk about it here. It's untreated sewage. It's untreated waste that is causing this. So we have some water treatment facilities. We've got one right here in Ruskin. That's a desalination plant and a water treatment plant. And then up, if you're going up 41 and 22 up by IKEA in Tampa, they have a huge water treatment facility. And that takes that raw sewage out. So taking some of the toxics out. And so the pictures here, if you have eutrophication right here, where the farmers use the nitrates and the high nitrogen and high phosphate chemicals to help their animals or to help their fields grow, it causes decreased life within those waters, those aquatic systems. If our shampoos they've taken a lot of the phosphates out, but oftentimes we do find phosphates in the water. And then the last page, to get over here, and we're going to keep both of these videos really kind of quick, which will be nice for you guys, I'm sure. And the most obvious one that we see that's very, very visible, whereas the nitrates and the phosphates aren't very visible, is the plastic waste. And there's big, huge, almost islands floating in the oceans full of nothing but garbage, right? They're lightweight. The plastics have toxins in them. Animals will see them and try to eat them, and they'll chew on them, and they'll get the plastic within their bodies and not be able to process it. We get the plastic rings from soda, from Coke and Pepsi, pop products. You've got the 6-packs, right? And if we don't cut those rings, we'll see oftentimes, animals get their heads stuck in them and can't get out of them. That clear fishing twine will wrap around fins of sea turtles and aquatic animals. So those are also really, really difficult. And it's just, it's just a common thing to be decent and pick up your trash. I say this to you guys all the time when we're at school. We walk around campus and people throw their bottles here and they throw their waste there. And we have all those birds that come in on campus, and there they are trashing. You guys are trashing it, not you individually, as a whole. Remember, I'm not talking specifically any individual person. I just want to say, as a whole, it's just not a problem to pick up and clean up, and it saves a lot, right? The world is not your mom and your dad. You need to pick up after yourselves because they're not always going to be there to pick up after you. And so question 1410 is list 2 substances that can cause eutrophication, and we talked about both of those. I talked about the nitrates, I talked about the untreated waste, I talked about the phosphates. 1411 is eutrophication reduces the concentration of a dissolved gas. What is it? And then 1412 is explain why throwing away a plastic bag is likely to cause more harm to the environment than throwing away a paper bag. So it shouldn't be too difficult. My problem with what I'm seeing, though, as I stated in the first video, is that a one-sentence answer doesn't always cut it. All right, 1412 should be multiple sentences. 1410, it says list the 2. Great, list the 2. But the big answer and the better answer would be, why are those 2 causing eutrophication? And then the things you should know about this whole thing is the food chains versus the food webs, where the energy is lost in the transfer. I know I did on that first video, I did my little whiteboard and I got a little note from somebody saying that it wasn't very easy to be seen. If you have a problem with it, see if you can Google just a trophic level or energy loss or the 10% rule is what it's often called. I didn't ask you to do the carbon cycle, so you should be able to talk about how deforestation affects the environment, sources, and eutrophication. All right, and so I will post a video on Wednesday morning for you guys to be able to do. Have a great day. Don't forget, message me if you have any questions. Bye, guys.